Hello. I'm sorry I haven't been able to get anything up for a little bit. I'm dealing with my own campaign. I'm going to talk about that a little bit today. And I noticed I have a few subscribers, and I just wanted to say something to you guys. And then that's assuming that you're not perps and that you're TIs. I really appreciate you subscribing to my page. Please offer any comments. It's really important, you guys, because this is the closest thing as TIs that we really have to a conversation with a fellow TI. So this is a conversation that we're having with each other, just not in real time. So it's a way for us to come together here and gain support for what we're going through. An online support group, even, so to speak. Just it because we're TIs, that has to look quite a bit different for us. So I just wanted to acknowledge you guys and let you know that I really appreciate you, and I appreciate everything that you're going through, and I am experiencing the exact same thing. Now, before I get into this, I will be talking about perps and handlers today and some other tactics, and I have made a little diagram here. But before I get into that, I wanted to talk about my own campaign a little bit. However, I want to be clear that I don't want to offer too much of my campaign up unless it's beneficial to you guys, or it's a good example of explaining a tactic or the nature of whatever I might be speaking about during that video, if it's beneficial. But I really don't want to come on here and act like a robot and do exactly what I'm supposed to do and puke all over the place about my personal campaign, my circumstances, my tragedies. I would like to discuss gang stalking as a whole, the program, how it works, the ins and outs of it, attempt to provide some kind of contribution, just getting the word gang stalking out there, even just the word alone. So that's really my focus. Now, I am going to talk about my campaign a little bit today, and I'm going to be vague, and you got to understand that that's for a reason. I don't want to offer up too much information, and I don't want to give any ideas or help other stalkers with other campaigns, anything like that, because a lot of times the TI will know more about the program than their local perps, not their handlers, but their local perps, because your local perps, they're only given the information that they're told, and they're told what to say, and told to appear that they know everything, the ins and outs, the workings of your personal program, and that maybe everyone does in your community except you. But just remember, things are not what they seem. This program is not what it seems. It's actually quite obvious when you don't allow yourself to get wrapped up into the synthetic realities. Though they are horrifying, it's actually very simple, this program. So, your perps and handlers, I guess we'll get into it here. The relationship between the two, which is why I chose this nice handshake piece here for the video. It appears to be the trend is a lot of people are paid off and do in fact sell you out, quite literally sell you out. I have seen this happen to me. Maybe it's a friend that you have known for years, perhaps, and again, that they only know what they are told to say, and enough to get them to go along with the campaign, along with money, of course. But they'll spread lies about you to get people behind this campaign. Or they'll make it look like it's something that's supposed to be helping you. Something like that. So, and your friend, who is now a perpetrator against you, might say something like, they want you to think that the whole nature of your relationship with that person, the whole time you've known them, maybe the whole few years that they have been stalking you this whole time. That is ridiculous. I just want to point out, this is an example. This happened to me a couple months back. It's happened a couple times, but a couple months back. And you're supposed to run with that. And the reason why is because it really hits home the brainwashing. Because now you're questioning everything in your relationship, your whole relationship. Now you're not just questioning when your campaign was initiated to now. You're questioning years before and maybe your whole life. And now you're questioning everything. So everything's very, very blended together. And that's why a lot of times it's made to look like people you've known for years have been going along with this for years, when really it's brand new to them and they've only recently sold you out. It's really plain and simple to see if you just look back at your relationship. But then, it does happen to where somebody you're close to does gang stalk you for a period of years, and you believe that you have a genuine relationship with this person. And that does happen as well. Oh gosh, I feel like I'm forgetting something in there. Well, basically, getting your friends to sell you out and pretend as if this has been going on for years and years and years. Your whole friendship is designed to, once again, guys, cause you to rebuild all of your conclusions from the ground up. We have to do this not just day to day as targeted individuals, but from moment to moment, experience to experience. Now, this can you can have this put this in your arsenal, so to speak, and attempt to use it to be quicker on your feet, or you can use it to really play into the hopelessness of it, because it it is in fact quite hopeless. But that doesn't mean that you have to play into that and live your life out like that. There is a level of detachment that has got to occur here in order to detach the brain and stand back and look at the program objectively, but also not further in ground the psychological damage of what's happened to you and actively happening to you. What else? Rebuilding conclusions. Now, how do we meet our handlers and perps? It's seemingly very random. Sometimes it's not. A lot of times the on-foot stalkers will approach you and let you know right away. But the ones that build friendships with you that are perps from the beginning, that you think are your friends and that you think maybe you introduced yourself to them. Now, you guys, it's really not so nuts or so difficult to place people once somebody knows your routine. Place people certain places you go, have them do certain activities, certain conversations to where you relate to them, strike up friendships and conversations, so that when they do start gang stalking you, you confront them about the nature of your relationship and how it initially occurred. And they say, well, you confronted me. And it's another way to call you crazy, to have you question and be confused about this reality that you've always known up until now. So a lot of times it's random. Perps, what do they look like? I've had a perp that was a homeless person, and I've had a perp that was a lawyer. I dated a perp that was a physician. So they look like everybody. A lot of people participate. All walks of life participate. Corners of all walks of life participate in this program, which is what also makes it so unique and is versatile the correct word? I'm not sure, guys. But it will really, it's kind of one size fits all. It really is able to easily cater to anybody because of that right there. Okay, of course, money is always a factor on how they become part of your campaign, or maybe they've been threatened. If you have a family member that's a perp against you, I wouldn't recommend confronting them about it or really even focusing on that at all. But a lot of times they're threatened. Perhaps children are involved, or blackmailed, money, and psychopaths. Sometimes people just enjoy doing this. The ego, think that they're serving their country. I'm serving my country. I'm giving back. And these people are told a bunch of lies. Remember, there's a whole campaign against you. So even a lot of your local perps are just told a bunch of lies about you because they're brainwashed as well, if they're not just psychotic. Okay. I've mentioned deprogramming, this word deprogramming, and what I really mean by that is, there's no port you can stick an adapter into and plug into your brain, so to speak, and there's nothing like that out there. So for me, it's really reminding myself to be present to the reality that I'm being brainwashed. Because again, if something knows that it's being brainwashed, it's very, very, very difficult to do that. Of course, you can still wear them down psychologically and all of that. But the confusion, the running around aimlessly, the sense of overwhelming out of control might be nipped just a little bit once you do have full knowledge. But that's also followed up with a rearing campaign. So once you're allowed to have full knowledge of the community, it's relieving for a moment, but at the same time, you're now being stalked every day, and they're not just waiting to drug you or waiting until you're drinking, something like that. So you're not in your right mind, and later you can blame it on a drug episode, which, while we're talking about brainwashing and decomputing, I want to say is also very well able to be the case. It's important as TIs to not chalk everything up to gang stalking, because that's what they want. And now you're really playing into that, living that out. You've got to be able to be in a position to ask, okay, is there something in my behavior that could have allowed this to happen? And if there is, look at that and do what's necessary. Be open to both sides is what I'm saying. Don't just resign your whole life to gang stalking. Shit happens in life. Random shit happens. And if everyone sees you walking around blaming everything on gang stalking, you're clearly didn't get the whole clue that was thrown at you during your campaign that you're being brainwashed, and now you are continuing to help that along. So you're lengthening your campaign. Okay, so I just wanted to say that. And I made a little diagram, or what's the word? I don't know. So here we go, guys, just to show you, right? We've got... Okay, this is how I am dealing with gang stalking and getting personal positive results. It's just compartmentalizing. It is. I'm going to kind of forum you here a little bit. Excuse me. But it is, here's the world gang stalking. Here is my world of what I call actual reality, which is existence, meditation, self-inquiry, self-study, prayer, spirituality. You could put a lot of things in that circle, whatever those words mean to you with your personal association. And then you have over here this unavoidable reality that you have. No matter how long you'd like to focus on this, you've got this going on. Gang stalking, synthetic reality, threats, episodes, assaults, physical assaults on you. So how is it that you navigate the world, reality, your reality, your personal reality that you're creating for you, and this synthetic reality that is threatening both of these? This is how you do it. This is how I do it. By not allowing the three to overlap. This is just such a great example of brainwashing, because here, overlap, it's a meshing of everything together. So now you don't know what the hell is what. You're questioning everything that's ever happened to you. You're not taking place in the activities that used to be important to you. You're focusing on all this shit, right? Well, the whole world doesn't consist of this. It is just an illusion that is designed to make you think that, so that you leave all this behind. All right. So silly. The whole program is so ridiculous and over the top. Alright, gang stalking, my personal campaign, recently took another turn, and a new synthetic reality has been presented to me I'm supposed to latch onto. And this is really to be expected, right? Because the site is up and running now, and anytime, I don't know if you guys have noticed this, but anytime I pick up surveillance activity, like when I first initiated that, and anytime I pick it back up, maybe I wasn't having a lot of activity for a while, well I am now, so I've got my video camera out and shit. The gang stalking will get worse. The threats will get worse for a time, and then it will typically bed back down. Who knows? I can't tell you, real patterns and go-to things to stick through, because it's all very random, and I don't know what their playbook looks like. I only know what it's looked like so far. But we can't, we've got to really pay homage to that, but we can't run with that at the same time. It's such a tough spot to be in. Right, but let's not woe is me here, because that's exactly what they want. Poor me, poor me, poor me. There's a lot of people this is happening to, and a lot of people that this is going to happen to. We are absolutely not the only ones. So this is expected. So basically what I'm saying is, while this is to be expected, and other things, according to what's happened previously for me, it's to be expected, but I don't expect it. I don't expect it, and I don't live into it. I'm like, well, it's going to happen anyway, and just resign myself to that and live accordingly to that. That's bullshit, and I absolutely refuse to live as though this is all reality. It is so ridiculous and so silly. This is not reality. It's just the illusion. You've got to question everything. Remember, things are not as they seem. Just keep repeating that to yourself. If it looks like your neighbor is stalking you, I'm not going to go into why that might be happening yet. That's for a different video, maybe another one about the ins and outs about how they actually are successful about creating that illusion. But again, it's just an illusion. And things, when those things are occurring, just continue to say, for me, it really helps. Things are not as they seem. And I'm not going to run with that. I'm not running with my old reality, and I'm not running with this bullshit that is presented to me right now. Excuse me. I've got to open the door here. All right. And I am definitely being told not so much lately. But I really get the impression that I am not taking my campaign seriously enough. And trust me, man, dude, I break down like I don't take this seriously enough. Are you freaking kidding me? Just because I have an attitude and I'm really cocky when I'm being mobbed by multiples, which is probably what's going to do me in the end, right? Is my my damn attitude. But that doesn't mean I don't take it seriously, folks. It just means I have an attitude. And that's really my way of continuing to live in a world where this exists. That's how I deal with this, by turning it into a joke. That's really how I deal with a lot of things. This is a very serious subject, and I just want to again, like most pieces of this program, when you're dealing with it, you want to take it seriously, but not too seriously. There's that balance in so many angles of this that somehow you've got to find as a TI. Now, I had one more little chart I made here for you, just about how I believe, from what I've seen, how the gang stalking community works, which you also have to question, because where are we getting all of our information and episodes from? Our perps and handlers, and what else to be less accurate. But from watching now, from what I can gather from the information that I haven't got from them, just watching the operation, when I'm not choosing to allow a panic attack to ensue, which is only possible when you're not being severely drugged. Now, this is the gang stalking community as a whole. Here you've got your handler, maybe 1 to 3. These are your shot callers. They have other handlers / shot callers here. Now here, see, each of these dudes, this is why it's such a great program, because each of these little parts run other parts. So it's very, very efficient. So these handlers have perps that work on this side of town, and, you know, maybe 12 that work over here near your home, all around your home. But these peeps, they don't ever really talk to each other, but they're working on the same campaign. Same thing here, same thing here, right? This can even consist of family members. They can be thrown in there as well. We did talk about that. And people can gang stalk you that don't even know you're gang stalking. They're gang stalking you. They don't realize that they have been coerced into confirming your suspicions that you are mentally ill. It's absolutely brilliant. I just love that word for it. And I don't mean a good brilliant, don't get me wrong. Now, this is all stemming down to the targeted individual. Who is the targeted individual affecting? Other TIs, again, being herded and baited into